Hey guys, welcome back to The Struggle with Candice Thompson. I am Candice Thompson, and boy, am I excited to have you guys back listening every week. To my loyal listeners, thank you for coming back. To my new ones, ooh, welcome. This show is a podcast where I invite my friends on who are very funny, and we talk about the challenges of adulting because it sucks most of the time. If you're an adult, then you know. I don't even need to explain it. If you're new to adulthood, you'll find out soon enough. Welcome. If you have not subscribed to the podcast, make sure you do that. We're on all podcast platforms. We are also on YouTube. If you want to watch the videos, you can go there and do that and subscribe there as well. Also, if you haven't rated and reviewed us on iTunes, that makes a huge difference. So please do that. And if you haven't told somebody about the struggle and you're listening to this regularly, do us a solid and go ahead and do that. Do my little plugs. I'm not going to pay you for it, but I'll appreciate you for it. How about that? Now, you can follow me on social media at Jokes by Candice. You can also find my shows and dates at CandiceThompsonComedy.com. And more importantly, make sure to watch Lights Out with David Spade on Comedy Central. I'm writing on the show, and we want to spread the word to make sure that everybody's watching it. And it's super funny. I'm super proud of it. And it premieres on July 29th, which is probably by the time you hear this, that will already been a past date. So it'll all be on. So just tune in Comedy Central, 11:30 after The Daily Show. Now I'm going to introduce my hilarious guest for the day. I'm so happy he's here. It is hilarious comedian Trenton Davis.
Pew, pew, pew.
Pew, pew, pew. Thank you for coming, Trenton. Where can everybody find you on social media?
Easy. I'm at Trenton Comedy on everything. Everything. At Trenton Comedy. Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook.
It's pronounced Instagrams.
Oh, Instagram? Is it on the ground? Is it really? I don't think
Is
it's...
there S? You know we add S's to
we
things.
do. Yeah, but I thought you had to be like over 70 to add S's.
No.
Or gay.
No, absolutely. Well,
Yes,
gay
yes.
people, yes, for sure add S's, but you
Okay.
don't have to be over 70.
I didn't know that.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Where did you grow up? You grew up here.
No.
Like, you
no,
didn't? Where did you grow
Not
up?
at all. I grew up in North Carolina. Greensboro, North Carolina.
Okay.
I was there till 17 and went to college in Atlanta and then graduated and then I went to Chicago. That's where I started comedy.
What school did you go to in Atlanta? Morehouse?
So I started at North Carolina A&T,
Mm-hmm.
and then I finished, and then I went to Georgia State, got kicked out. It's a whole nother story for a long podcast. And then I finished at Kennesaw State University.
You cannot say you got kicked out of college and then say, all right, guys, we'll talk about that next time.
I'm going to make it real quick because we got other stuff to talk about.
For sure. We have a lot of stuff we need to cover.
I don't know if you know, I'm a Kappa. I'm a noob. So,
No, I did not know that.
yes, I'm a noob.
Now I look at you differently.
Is that good or bad?
All of my guy friends growing up were alphas.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And no, not you know.
Did they
Why
do-
are you
did-
apologizing?
did they do
It's so
your hair?
funny. Did they do my? Ooh, you hear that shade?
Did they
It's all
do
my.
your hair? They're like, girl, your hair look nice. Buttercream, buttercream, buttercream. Yeah,
all
I said
the
it.
shade. All the shade.
All of it.
That's so funny. Yeah, no, I didn't know that you were a Kappa at
Yeah.
all. And no, I don't care. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm a Kappa, and then we had some problems when we had some intake, and I was the president, and so we got. So long story short, some boys,
All of
we-
you
we
were
got in trouble
involved?
for hazing.
Oh, so okay,
Yeah.
so and everybody, so you guys got like banned from.
Yeah, 5 of us got kicked out of school.
Oh Jesus.
I know. But thank goodness I went to another school before they processed the paperwork. Went to another school and graduated. Got my degree.
So because they didn't know.
They didn't know.
So do you think that would have affected your acceptance into another school?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Jesus.
Maybe not. I mean, it happened a long time ago. Thank God. So you can't come back and take my degree back.
Yeah. What
Right.
if they did?
Oof.
Your degree is
Can
null and void.
Can we not air this podcast? I would
too
be
late.
in trouble. So yeah, then I finished at Kennesaw, and then my first job was in Chicago, and that's where I started comedy.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what did you start right after college? You started comedy?
No, so I graduated 2003, and I started like 2005. Long story short, I
Okay.
did what everybody's parents tell them to do: go to college,
Yeah.
get a job.
That's exactly what I did.
You know,
That is exactly what I did.
And I did it, and was like, I'm unhappy, and I was making, and I'll make it real quick. I was making the most money I'd ever made in my life.
Yeah.
And I remember looking at my check, and I was got married. It was like, go to college, get a degree, and
Yeah.
get married. Got married, and me and my ex were going through hard times. She's not a bad person. We're just young. And I hated being at home, and I hated being at work.
Yeah.
And literally the only time I liked was in the middle.
And you were like, how do I make the middle part my day?
Right.
My whole
Like,
entire
I was
day.
praying for traffic. I hope it's a 9-car pileup. Baby, I can't come home for 10 days, you know? It was horrible. So I'd always blah 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 been funny. People tell you, so I just started going to Riddles in Orland Park in Chicago.
That's in Chicago, okay.
Yeah. So you know
did
Ray
you
Grady?
start with? I know Gray. Yeah, I know Ray. Not well, but yeah. And I don't see him around too much anymore. I used to
No.
see him back when I was like when I was younger, like doing the open mic shit. And I wouldn't
Yeah.
see him because he was more seasoned at that point than I was. But so I just remember seeing him, but like at the Laugh Factory and crack him up and shit like that. Yeah.
So me and him kind of started together. Chicago's super segregated in comedy and in just life. But so the black people did South Side and white people did the North Side. But I was
So
living
ridiculous.
way out in the middle of nowhere. So I would do
You weren't close to either one of them.
one. So I would do that one. I'd do the black one, and then I'd also do the white ones. Because
You should have done comedy for biracial people. You should have started the comedy circuit just for mixed people
Just for
in
mixed-
between.
Like we could talk about this. It's hard being an African American and you grow up around number white people, and then you grow up, but you black. I'm clearly black. So what happened was I was never 100% accepted or comfortable around black people, and never 100% comfortable or accepted around white
So
people.
you felt like me,
Yeah, pretty much.
except people knew you were black just from looking at you.
Yeah, and I didn't have good hair.
Yeah.
I didn't look like a male version of Genuine. So, you know.
Thank God.
Yeah.
No, because those dudes are corny.
Now
But
they
wait,
are, but back then.
Back then they were, yeah, for sure.
yeah,
It's like,
they
ooh,
was-
who was that? But that
right.
was,
That's when men had baby hair.
yes,
See?
a full head of
Oh,
baby hair.
Yeah, I ain't had no baby hair. They was like, what's going on?
You know, now, baby, you're a man with baby hair. You a bitch. Like that's just what it is.
It should
and
be.
I'm not saying it's right, but that's just what our society is
I
gravitating
can say it's
towards.
right. I'm okay with saying it's right.
Trenton's like, I stand by it.
I'm
So
okay
wait,
with
I
it.
would like to say really quickly. You said African American.
Yeah.
Is that how you refer to black people, or do you say black?
I think when I'm being recorded,
You said
subconsciously, I'm always trying to be politically correct. I think so. I don't think I meant to.
I almost said the N word, and the only reason why I would have if there wasn't other people of other races listening to this podcast, because
Yeah.
I told myself I'm not gonna say the N word in front of mixed company. I'll do
Oh.
it when it's just us.
Yeah.
But when other people are listening, I'm not doing it anymore because I'm not co-signing on other people saying it.
Yeah,
So,
no, I'm with you on that.
and they just feel like they can when they do. So anyway, I'm not doing that. But that's interesting. So you're doing it for political. You
But I
you're
don't think I
black.
meant to. I don't think I meant to.
Oh, it just came out.
It
Okay.
just came out. Because
Okay.
like when I talk about, we're gonna talk about it later, blah blah blah. But when we talk about dating, I say I want a black woman. But when I don't know when it's I don't know. Sometimes I say African. I think I'd use it
It's so
interchangeably.
funny.
Yeah.
It's so funny because I'm working on Spade show, and in the room with us. This was so I don't know if I've said this on the podcast before, but there's a guy in the room with us who I had no idea was gonna be in the room. I'm working with Pootie Tang,
The real Pootie Tang?
Lance Crowther.
He got baby hair.
He does. He does have baby hair.
Yeah,
And the
okay.
reason why I said it is because when he talks about black people, he says African American.
Oh.
And I said, you say African American, huh? He's like, I've never called black people anything else.
Really?
And we haven't had time to have the conversation about why, because I'm really curious as to why. I would like to know, but we haven't had time to even discuss that yet. He has kids and he's busy and shit.
But you would never think. I'm gonna just say it. You would
Yeah.
never think a nigga named Pootie Tang would call somebody
that's
African American.
His real name. You know that's just
Oh.
character. He's so stupid.
I don't know his real name.
His name is Lance Crowther.
Oh, you said
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Okay, my
Lance.
bad, Lance. I don't mean no disrespect.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
No, but he's a comedy legend. Like he used to write on Chris Rock's show back
Yeah.
in the 90s on HBO and has been in writers' rooms this whole entire since then.
Right,
Like he's
okay.
just been head writer and it's just a super funny, goofy guy. And it's so
Okay.
funny. Like, and I manifested this because that's one of my favorite. It's such a stupid movie, but you've seen it, right?
I've seen it. Yeah.
It's so stupid, but it spoke to me on so many levels of just silliness. So, and I quote Pootie Tang regularly.
I don't know it that well. I don't. When did it come out? I
Tippy
don't-
tie on my cappy town. What I tie my damie? Like this is what we're talking about. I
This is what
quote
we-
it. My nephew quotes it now. And then when I told him, I was like, "You're not gonna believe who's in the writers' room with me." I was like, "Pootie Tang." And he was like, "Aunt Candice."
I got a question.
Yeah.
Did that come out before like Snoop Dogg was doing Precision My Nizzle?
Pootie Tang came out in 2001. So I feel like it was around the same time.
Okay. I wonder
If that was
one birthed
inspired?
the other. Yeah. I don't know.
You know, it didn't, because you know where Pootie Tang came. And this, I had to ask him the history of Pootie Tang
Yeah.
when I first was like getting to know him. I was like, Lance, you gotta tell me what inspired Pootie Tang. It was all Louis C.K.
Really?
Louis C.K. You know, he wrote and directed that movie, but the
Okay.
character came from Chris Rock's HBO show.
Oh.
That's where that character, and that's when I fell in love with it. Like, I remember my sister and her boyfriend at the time were like, Candice, you got to watch Chris Rock's show tonight. You know, we were young, and they were like, it's so silly. There's this character, and he doesn't speak English. Like, he just speaks his own language. And I watched it, and I was like just cracking up hysterically. And he was telling me that HBO wouldn't let them put it on. They didn't get it. Like, they every week they put up Pootie Tang like on the board as a sketch to do, and they were like, no.
It's so funny.
And they fought for it, and finally it got on. And then the ratings and the response to it, they were like, okay, you got to do Pootie Tang again next week. And so
the rest is history.
And Louis, it was a character from Louis because as he was a kid, he used to speak a different language. He created a language for himself. And
Louis
so,
did?
yes, that's where that character came from.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Well, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it's ridiculous.
Well, Lance,
yeah.
I apologize. I don't mean no shade or no.
Yeah, but no, he does have, his hair is short now. You know, in the movie he had this long braid.
Yeah.
But yeah, he does. And I don't know, I want to ask him where his parents are from because his hair is so fine.
He
and
looks like he always looked like he was from the Caribbean.
His parents look like they're definitely from the Caribbean.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask him if they're from like Grenada or some shit like that. Yeah.
Why Grenada? Why?
Because it's in the Caribbean. It's the first thing that's a Spice Island.
That's the first thing.
Shout
that
out
popped
to
up.
Amanda Seals. Her mom is from there. Yeah,
okay.
So it's the first thing that popped into my head.
Okay, cool. How you like working with Amanda?
Amanda's fantastic.
Yeah.
She's on the road a lot now, so we don't get to see each other much. She's back in town next week, and we're supposed to meet up next weekend. But yeah, no, we haven't really worked together since her Smart, Funny, and Black pilot that we worked on for True TV. But because of, she did her HBO thing, and now she's touring all the time.
Good for her.
But yeah, no, she's great. Oh yeah. If Smart, Funny, and Black comes to you guys' city, go check it out. Like, I'm telling you, it's one of the best. Amanda's such a great host.
Yeah.
The energy in the room is amazing. And if you want to really see what being black is about and a celebration of just authentic blackness, go check out Smart, Funny, and Black. It's so
that's
good.
awesome, man.
Yeah, it's great.
That's like calling it the Talented 10th.
It is.
Yeah. That's like W.E.B.
It is.
Du Bois
It's like
presents.
it's black excellence
That's
at its
awesome.
best. And she's so funny and just a great host. Yeah.
Did you go to a black college?
I did not. I went to the opposite.
Oh,
I went
okay.
to the whitest.
You went to a Jewish college.
That is correct.
You went to Oglethorpe, right?
You said Oglethorpe? Is that even? I was like,
that is the college. It's a college in Atlanta.
Is it Jewish?
I don't know.
I was like, if it's probably not. Oglethorpe doesn't sound like a Jewish last name.
I don't even. What is Ogle? It sounded white though. It definitely sounded
Goldberg Institute. That's where I went.
Yeah.
No, I went to Miami University in Oxford, Ohio.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, everyone's like, oh, in Florida. I'm like, no, not the good one.
No,
like I went to the other one.
So this is so boring, but long story short, my company I used to work for was based in Cleveland. So a lot of people went to Miami.
Cleveland. Yeah.
One of the cities that I never want to go to.
Yeah. So what? So did you work there in Cleveland?
No. I always work from home. Thank God. I've had the biggest blessing in the world. Yeah, because I can now be a full-time comedian and a full-time day job. That's the best blessing. I mean, outside of my daughter, my day job is the best blessing in the world.
Wait, hold on. I need to give a shout out to your daughter because Trenton has the most adorable daughter. Her name is Harlan.
Yes.
I met her. You brought her to Comedy and Magic Club. Was that 2 weeks ago?
Yes.
And when I'm telling you, like, she's so adorable that I'm anti-child. Like, I'm anti-having kids just because I'm selfish and don't want to have to lose sleep and, like, sacrifice things for myself. But your daughter made me be like, maybe I could have a kid.
She loved you. I'm telling you, she talked about Miss
her.
Candice the entire way home.
Can I have her?
I would love to give you her. Her mom is a challenge. That's all I'm going to say. So I'm probably going to just get in trouble for even mentioning her name. I'm definitely going to get in trouble because she's going to say, well, you took it to a club. Like, I took her to work. It was National Take It to Work Day. Shut up.
Take your daughter to... Oh, I've seen comics take their kids on stage. So what you did was mild.
And what people don't realize is the comedy magic. If you're going to take a child to a club,
that's the
club. Because it's so friendly. It's so
She gets to eat. She'll be in the green room. It's on her. It's like she was on her iPad.
Yeah.
And the comics that he don't let like bullshit comics in there.
No.
These are all we're like family there.
And let's be honest, everybody there has made it. They're better than me. They're high, and I'm saying made it meaning they have a life.
Yeah,
they're
like
not just gonna take a kid out the green room and
those are and you know what? I never thought about that, but that is also shout out to Richard for being very like Richard is particular about who he makes a regular in that club. And I think like he has a really good feeling for like comics that aren't pieces of shit.
Yes.
And I'd never thought about it until you said that. But if you guys live in the area, it's in Hermosa Beach. It's the Comedy and Magic Club. It's one of the best clubs that I've ever played in the country. He treats the comics with the most respect. We all get fed.
Yeah.
We all get paid well. But I never thought about that. Like, that is a club where if you could leave your daughter there and you would come back 7 hours later and
Yeah.
know that there was somebody in that room, or at least 8 people in that
Right.
room that were
Make-
looking out for her.
yeah, and look,
Whereas if you do that at the Comedy Store,
Oh,
your
it'd be-
daughter's gone.
I would never take her to the comedy.
Your
Oh my
daughter's
God!
gone.
If I took her to that could be something on IDTV. He took her to the Comedy Store and we never saw her again. I would never take her. But the Comedy Magic is so great.
It's so
You
welcoming and warm.
Gina were so nice.
Oh.
I love Gina. That was my first time meeting her, and I'd
You
always
never
been
met
a-
Gina
I'd
before?
been
Gina
a
Yashere is who
fan.
we're talking about.
I was a fan since she did that season of Last Comic Standing.
Yes, man.
And so both y'all I was like, oh, I'm good. And we were doing 5-minute sets. Wasn't like
Yeah.
I was doing an hour.
Right.
You know?
No, that was
So,
a great time. But yeah, your daughter is adorbs.
Thank you. I'm gonna put Candice on blast. So I text Candice. I said, Candice, thank you so much for being nice to Harlan. She loved you. Candice texts back, Trenton, just so you know, if I ever make a mistake and have a kid,
I think I said accidentally is the word that I used. If I ever accidentally have a child, because that's what's gonna happen. It's not
gonna be
gonna
an
happen on
accident.
purpose. Yeah, no.
Even if you get married, you won't plan it
I don't think I'm gonna get married.
ever. You don't like the idea of marriage, or you don't like.
I
Can we
don't.
talk about it?
Absolutely.
No, but I feel like don't you have to tell about the struggle?
Yeah, but what I was gonna say for my struggle this week was so kind of lame. So we can talk about this
Well,
because
let's-
this kind of is a struggle for me.
Okay, so
I
let's
go
talk
back
about
and
it.
forth. I go back and forth with, because I like I grew up. My parents are still together. Like
Yeah.
they just celebrated their 43rd anniversary this month.
43rd. Give it up.
43.
Yeah, that's I know like maybe, including you now, maybe 3 people whose
His
parents,
parents are
together.
still together, but
4.
also still together and like one another.
Yeah.
It's one thing if they're in
Now
it for
it's 1.
convenience. Right, because
Now
you think
we're
about
down.
like, oh, the other one's just going through the motions.
Yeah.
They just are too old to get divorced. It's not that. They are still in love, and like my dad, they'd be lost without one another.
Yeah,
I mean, which is also a level of codependency in there that's probably unhealthy. But at the
Yeah.
same time, there's a lot of love in there and
Yes.
respect for one another.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you right now, the key is my dad knows he couldn't do any better. That is the key in every one of those people
has to know they shooting
needs
up.
to know that they can't do any better.
Oh, that's
It's
a great
stay in your
point.
lane. I really am firm about that.
I get a question, and if it's too personal,
No, go ahead.
have they always liked each other, or did they grow into liking each other?
If there was ever a time where they didn't, I don't remember it.
Okay.
And my sister and I talked about this. We don't remember if there was a time where they were like,
They don't. Yeah.
no.
Okay.
They got in their arguments, of course.
Yeah.
But I do not ever remember any length of time, a stretch of my parents not liking one another.
Oh, that's good. That's good. My parents, I think they loved and liked each other the whole time. Like you said, there's definitely some time.
They still together?
Yeah.
Oh, it's great.
They just celebrated their 50th.
Oh my God.
I know. They just celebrated their, so it's a thing. Like that's why I was in Seattle a couple weeks ago. I set up Comedy Underground and then met them in Vancouver. They had done
wow.
a cruise and blah blah blah.
Nice.
Yeah, so it was a big deal. 50th.
That's huge.
Yeah, she asked me. She's like, "You want to be married 50?" I said, "Mom, I'm 40." No, I don't. I'd have to get married yesterday. How is that possible?
How is it possible? Like, I guess I could, but if I lived to 100,
Right.
sure.
I don't even know if I would want to. I know this is gonna sound bad. I don't necessarily know if I am built for 40 years, but I think I could do 3 10 years really good.
3 10 years?
Yeah,
So 30 years.
No,
But with
separately.
different people?
Yeah, yeah.
And but no, I think that's realistic. And I
Yes.
think I was talking to my friend Justine yesterday because she's been in her relationship now for 5 years.
Okay.
And I was like, I've never been in any relationship for 5 years. I've been in a 2-year. That's the longest. It's 2 years. And I'm just like, I get bored so easily.
Oh,
I could see myself just getting tired of somebody,
Yeah.
and just wake up one morning and be like, "You're still here."
I'm out.
I'm out, if I'm with you, that means I respect you.
Okay.
I'm not one of those people that dates just to be in a relationship.
Okay.
I don't need to be with somebody. That's why I'm single most of the time, because I'm very particular with who I spend my time with.
Yeah.
Because I have to respect you, and I have to like you and genuinely enjoy your company.
Okay.
I'm not one of those people that'll just be in something to be in something, because
Yeah.
I don't want to be by myself. I'd rather be by myself. So if I'm choosing you, know that you
Have
are
been
special.
chosen.
Yes.
But what that means is whomever you date has to then, because of the way you just framed it, has to
Mm-hmm.
look at you as I can't do any better.
Well, that would obviously be the case.
Right,
It
but-
wouldn't be me doing that.
But-
It wouldn't wouldn't be me thinking that, obviously.
Hashtag asshole. But I got a question then. If he looks at you, and
I
I'm
think
saying he, whatever.
Yeah.
If he looks at you and says, I can't do any better, then I'm serious about this. Can you respect him?
Yes.
You can.
I respect a man that can admit that.
Okay. But okay,
Absolutely.
so you're all right, you're writing on TV, you're performing all over, you're doing Colbert, pew, 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 right? So what is he? Is he a
He doesn't have
IT
to,
director?
He don't. When I say I just need him to know, because look, when I say that about my parents,
Yeah.
my dad is amazing. He's a good-looking guy who has a great job.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is that people are such trash that the odds of him finding a woman as beautiful as my mom is gorgeous.
Okay.
Like, gorgeous. And you know, she's still gorgeous, and she's in her 60s. So imagine what she looked like. I have photos, and you'd be like, damn, Candice, your mom was beautiful. Could have been a model. She was just short. That's the problem. Okay. But anyway, like, to get a woman that is that gorgeous, who is also a great mother, who is also works, has a job, and is about her own life.
Yeah. She's doing it.
Yeah, and can cook fantastically, doesn't mind cooking, doesn't mind cleaning, does all of these things voluntarily.
Wow. Yeah. So
and is just a good person on top of it.
Yeah.
And that you can trust. She's not cheating on you.
Yeah.
We're talking about a person with morals and values, and like
they don't make them no more,
That's
Candice.
what I'm saying. But that's
they don't make them no more.
You looking at one right now.
Yeah.
Except I will not sacrifice my career for that. And my mom, if she had dreams to be like in the industry like this, it's different. But she was fine. She wanted to be a mom, and that's what she did. She wanted to be a mom, and she wanted to. And she has her job. She works in human resources. But if she had to, if she wanted to start a company or some shit like that, something would have had to have been sacrificed. But that's why I'm saying, like, I can provide all those things, but I'm not going to put in all that work. I don't mind. I will cook for you. I will clean, but I also will have someone else do it for me, because if I don't have the time, I'll pay for a cleaning person to come in.
But did you see your face when you said, I don't cook for you? I don't cook for you.
No, I said I will cook for you.
Oh, you said I will.
I will cook for you.
Oh, my bad. I thought
I will cook for you.
Okay.
If I love you, if I'm with you, I'm willing to do all of those things. Okay. But you got to respect me, and no one's willing to put in that work to get, they just expect stuff. And I'm like, why would you expect me to do all of these fantastic things for you, and you can't even text me back in a proper amount of time?
Because, and I'm not saying it's okay, but because a lot of other women
let it happen.
do it.
And that's why, ladies, stop giving it up to trash dudes. I have been saying this for years, because you know the phrase, why would I buy the cow if I can get the milk for free?
Yeah.
That's such an old school saying, and it's so sexist.
Yeah, and it's so true.
But it's real.
Yeah, and it's a lot of free milk given out.
Right, because and here's the thing, it's because I don't see men changing. That is why, if men were to evolve and respect women more, and I'm not speaking to you specifically.
No,
I'm not saying this is what you do. I'm just saying, generally speaking, we both agree that statement that I just said is true. Why buy the cow? And that is because you know how men will behave if you're sleeping with them. Like, if you give them this much, they're going to take more.
Yeah.
So
I would agree with that.
So we have to be more particular about who we're giving it up to, because if they can just walk out the door and get it from somebody else, why are they going to put in the work with you? But even if I am a better, more quality person than this other person, is because to them it's just vagina. It don't matter who it comes from. I don't care about you as a person. I'm not here for your opinions. Like,
Are you talking right now?
That's not why I came here at 3 o'clock in the morning.
I didn't come here at 3 o'clock to hear you do a podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything you said, I agree with. I just think, unfortunately, and it's a circle. I'm not blaming women. I'm not blaming men. It's just a circle, but it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, because what happens women upgraded, right? And I'm talking about the women's liberation. When they upgraded, they started, I'm gonna have my own job. I'm gonna do my own thing. As a result of that, it was more single mothers. As a result of having more single mothers, it was more women that are giving it up more freely. Because I'm telling you, when dudes talk, we know a chick with her father in her life is a very different approach than a chick without.
You have to respect us.
Yeah, I gotta be like, hey, how you doing?
I know.
Like, if you ain't got your dad, I'm like, bitch, shut up, come over here.
She'd be like, I love him.
He's so kind to me. Shut up.
He said bitch with a soft P. Last dude I was dating was like, bitch. So this dude, he's a winner.
He's a winner. See,
Yeah.
and so, and I'm not, none of it I'm saying is okay, but then that happens.
Yeah.
And then we're getting this thing. But I agree. I would say, probably because I'm from the South, if it has to start or stop somewhere, men have to step up. I would agree with that.
It is true because at this point, but women need, it's not all on you, but women need to start being more particular. And here's where we screwed ourselves is we started sleeping with men more frequently and
which I appreciate.
Of course you do. Every man does.
Thank you for making that choice.
Men have needed less qualifications to get pussy now in the name of women's rights.
Yes.
And I disagree with that.
Women,
we were trying to make a point by saying we deserve to be treated equally, so
Yeah.
let's start giving the pussy out for free. Like, no,
and this
that's
the
not
thing.
how to do it.
We're joking, but you used to really have to have a job to get pussy.
You had to work.
You had to work.
You had to approach a woman and court her.
Yes.
You had to court her.
Yes. Now courting is, what's up, babe?
What up?
Yeah.
You up?
Send me a pic.
And we're talking about dudes who are in relationships and there are women out there still texting them and being like, you want to come? What are we doing? I have never supported this. I never will. And I think it's getting worse and worse.
Yeah, I will say this. I don't disagree with you. I will say where it smacks guys in the face, my point in particular. So I got out of my last relationship maybe 2.5 years ago. And I got out of that relationship. It was tough. And I was like, I'm never getting in a relationship again.
Were you living with this person?
Yeah, it was just the daughter of my mom. I mean, the
Oh,
mother
okay.
of
Oh,
my
wow.
daughter.
Okay. Wow.
So we lived together for 5 years. Blah, blah, blah. Not the one, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, I'm never in a relationship, never probably going to get married, none of that.
Yeah.
So now 2 years later, and I hope she don't hear this, things are going well.
Your ex?
Yeah, I hope
No,
my ex
she
doesn't hear
does
this.
listen to this podcast.
She totally listens. But so now, best job of my life, day job. Comedy's going the best it's ever been.
Great.
And me and Harlan's relationship is the strongest and best it's ever been. It'll continue. So it's great right now.
I want to let you know that if you and your daughter ever fall out, I am Team Harlan. I'm letting
Everybody
you know.
would be
I'm
Team
letting you know
Harlan.
right now.
Yeah, everybody would be.
I won't even have to know what happened. I'll just be like Team Harlan.
I'm remind you
She can
that
come live
when
with
she's
me.
14
Yeah.
and got boys, then I'm like, go with Miss
If
Candice.
she needs somebody to tell her about these ain't shit dudes,
Our mama will do that. Trust me.
fine. Fine. I
But-
guess she has precedence.
But I had a conversation with my mom, blah, blah, blah. She wanted me to get married. And she's like, Trent, would you get married? And I said, Mom, now's the first time that I can remember that I'm like, yeah, I would. Like, I'm not in a relationship. I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to being in a good relationship.
Yeah.
I'm welcoming to it. But now that my mind shift has changed, guess what I'm still seeing, though? Regular, basic bitches. Not seeing, but I got to go to a museum, the Museum of Modern Women, to find
me,
a real
quality,
woman.
well, we need to acknowledge as a society that most people are basic as fuck.
Basic as fuck.
Like, that's what we need to acknowledge, because if we think about what it takes to make an exceptional person, and when I say exceptional, I mean a person who respects other people, who knows their worth, and is a productive member of society. That's what we're talking about. And you
I
think about
agree.
the effort that it takes to make a person like that. We talk about ourselves and like having good parents. Most people that have kids, I don't think most people were planned. I don't think most people were made on this earth because they were planned. I
choice,
think it was
yeah.
an accident.
Yeah.
People weren't ready. They didn't know what they were getting into. They were in relationships that they thought were like, oh, this is cool. Then you found out like, oh, this isn't working. And that can be fine, like the situation you're in, as long as you guys keep the bullshit away from Harlan.
Yes.
She's going to be great. She'll
Yeah.
be fine. But there are people who keep their kids in terrible environments.
I agree.
And they grow up thinking that that's normal. And they come out hurt and damaged, and then in turn hurt other people, and the cycle continues.
Yes, damaged
So,
people hurt damaged people.
Yeah.
This is a question I never thought I would ask it 20 years ago. I never thought it'd be a key question on a first date. But this is a simple question. Do you read? Not can you read.
that should also be a question.
That should be fair. But I'm serious about this, and you would be surprised
No.
how many women I meet say,
No.
I don't read. Oh, and then they get defensive. You think you have to learn everything from a book? I'm like, no, I'm not saying you learn everything from a book, but it helps.
Should. Like the internet is,
Or how about this?
y-
I can't experience everything, so read somebody else's experience.
Yeah, or go travel or do something.
I'm not making this up.
No, I believe you.
I meet women that regularly tell me they don't read.
And are these women in their 30s,
Yes.
40s?
30?
Because I would say don't date anyone in their 20s. Don't do that.
No,
'cause-
30s.
Okay.
I say in their 30s. And so I don't automatically stop the date, but then
You should.
I know, but
Get out. And you're paying for
We
this.
done.
You
I'm
wasted
done.
my time.
Yeah. So it's a challenge because I'm asking them, do you read? that question is so deep on so many levels. What I'm saying is, how are you going to truly influence and shape my daughter if we get serious?
Well, for sure.
Right?
For
And
sure.
it's got to be bigger than twerking and doing something on Instagram. It has to be big. You can't pass that down. I guess you can, but
You can, but we don't want
we don't
that.
want that,
We
right?
don't want that.
So I
Yeah.
want you to be like this weekend. I'm taking my daughter to Washington D.C. and I'm taking her to African American music. Like, can you do that?
Can you, and do you want to do it? More
It-
importantly,
yeah.
because they can, but if you're doing it and you got an attitude about it, or just in a feeling a certain way about it, and you're not enjoying it, that also is going to affect your daughter.
And it's a vibe of a lot of people that wouldn't even pop up on their radar.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like a museum.
Yeah.
Why would I do that? Because it's so cool to just say I'm brunching and mimosas. It's so cool.
Everything's for the gram.
Everything.
No
It's,
one's
you know,
posting pictures at the museum.
No.
At the Museum of Tolerance.
No.
On the gram.
That's why I should take her to one of Amanda Seal's shows. My daughter, I'm saying.
I'm telling you, she would love it. The only thing that would be difficult for her is because a lot of it is like references to like black excellence from
Yeah.
like the 90s and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So like they'll
would go
do
over
like
her
a
head.
bit about like who was the best black mom, Claire Huxtable or Harriet from Harriet Winslow.
Yeah.
It'd be one of those things, which
Okay.
obviously Claire Huxtable wins. that.
Clearly, Claire Huxtable wins everything.
Yeah,
I want to
everything.
marry Claire. The only person I thought was closest to Claire Huxtable is Michelle Obama.
Yes, and can I tell you that is my mom?
Claire Huxtable?
I just put that on Instagram a couple days ago. Like, if anyone asked me, who is your mom like? Claire Huxtable. Do you remember that episode where she told Elvin off, where Elvin came to the house and Claire said to both of them, "Can I get you some coffee?" And Elvin was like, "You're going to get him some coffee?" Talking about Heathcliff. And she was like, "Yes, what's the, I don't understand." And
Yeah.
she was like, "Don't you think that that's like, you know, you being the role of the woman? Like, don't you think there's something wrong with like, you feel like you have to serve your man?" And she was like, "Elvin," and broke it down like
Yeah.
this relationship is 50-50, like tore him down within a 10-second time
Yeah.
span, and basically told him about himself. And like, if you don't understand this, you will never be in a relationship.
Oh,
And almost made him cry. And I'm like, that's my mom.
see, that's awesome. I don't remember that, and I watch every episode.
How do you not? She was like, "Oh, I'll find it for. I'll send it to you."
Yeah,
I'll
but I remember because we was not only again, my high school 95% white, and so we was called the Huxtables. Our parents were together. We had pizza night every Thursday. People would come over and sit around our
We
table
do it
and
on
laugh.
Friday.
Yeah, it was a big deal. It was a big deal. So now, as a result, I'm looking for, subconsciously, I'm looking for my mom. I'm looking for Claire Huxtable.
Of course.
And Claire Huxtable ain't on the ground.
No, I know. And same with me. It's the issues with the dad. I've got a great father, and me
Yeah.
and my sister are both
Is
single.
your sister? Oh, I was gonna say, is she
Yeah.
in a relationship?
She's kind of,
Yeah, okay, we ain't
if
gonna
she's
put your
listening
sister-
right now, you know what you're
My
in.
bad, my bad.
Yeah, no, she's in nothing that's like exclusive anything right at this moment.
Okay.
But yeah, no, we're both for the most part.
Does
yes,
she live
just
out here?
No, she's back home with them in Cincinnati. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, so what do we do? I don't know the answer.
we walk into traffic.
We pray. I don't know. I think it'll happen. Like not everything. Most of the stuff that I think about long enough manifest.
Absolutely.
It happens, right? So I'm
Firm believer of
hoping
that.
now that I'm just manifesting the right one.
And you probably are. If
Hope
you
so.
are actively focusing on that and that's a desire that you really want,
Yeah.
then it will happen.
So why don't you want to be married? I feel like we skipped over that.
yeah, I just, like I said, I get bored. I do. And so, and I don't want to hurt anybody. Like I wouldn't, and honestly, I've done a lot of self, analysis over time. And I've just been like, I think that's why all my relationships were not good, and why I would always seek out like emotionally unavailable men is because I think subconsciously I did not want to be in a relationship, and I would seek that out so that I wouldn't have to hurt somebody. And I've always been the dumped.
You got really
Always been my whole entire life. I've been the
Oh.
one that's been broken up with.
Oh,
And I was like, I think it's subconscious. I think there's something about me that knows that I don't want to hurt people because that sucks. And I
Okay.
know that I would end up hurting somebody because I don't want to be in a long-term relationship. So I think I've actively sought out emotionally unavailable men
Wow.
because of that.
that is deep.
I know.
I had to learn how to be the dumper, but I
It's
learned
hard.
yeah. But it also helps at least for me. It helped. It was a growing experience. It helped me say, this is what I will and will not accept.
Yep.
And so now
Boundaries.
I practice. I'm good at it. I break up with people.
Break
don't
up with me
even know
right
we in a
now.
relationship.
Let's pretend like we were in a relationship for 8 years.
Oh, hey, that's a long time.
I know. I want
Okay.
to see how good you are at
Well,
this.
I would first say, hey, can we have a conversation? Then I'm like, I think we need to redefine the nature of our association. Whoa, that's a line.
That's what you open with?
That's what I open
Oh,
with.
shit.
And then with something's good. This is going on, this is going on, this is going on. This is where I want to go. I don't feel like we're together on this, so I don't feel like we're going to make it. Don't cry. It's okay. You're going to find somebody better than me. That's why I'm like, I knew I should have texted you. I knew I should have texted you. I don't break up on text. Maybe I do.
No, you
once.
cannot break up on text. If you've been with someone longer than a month, you cannot break up with them on text.
This is the deal. If you're in a relationship, you can't break up on text. But if you're not in a relationship, you can cut off on text. I'm cutting this
But
bitch
how
off.
long have you been seeing this person?
It's not a relationship until I say, hey,
Well,
are
for
we
sure.
in a, yeah.
But how? See, I beg to differ with that.
Okay.
You're not maybe in an exclusive relationship, but if you are, every person that you have, that you know and communicate with regularly, you
You're
are
in a
in a relationship with,
Okay.
whether it be an intimate relationship or whatever
relationship.
Yes,
Yes.
it is a relationship.
Okay, fair enough. I don't disagree with you. Unless I am in an exclusivity is the only thing to me that requires face-to-face cutoff. If we're not exclusive, I can cut you off.
I would agree with that.
Yeah,
I would agree with that.
Because if you're not serious enough for me to not see other women,
Yeah.
I don't have to drive. Come on,
No,
I'm
I
not doing
agree.
all that.
Yeah, and the phone
know?
is too much. Phone is weird. Calling somebody to break up.
Yeah, to break up. But I
Yeah.
call. That's another thing. Probably because I'm 41. But I call. I'm like, yo, I'm not. Let's have a conversation because,
Yeah.
like you said, I'm not looking at right now. Because if I look at right now, I'm just thinking about sex. What I'm looking at is long term.
For sure.
So can I have a conversation? Me and
Yeah.
my mom have hour-long conversations.
Yeah.
2 hours. She just wrote a book at 72. I would shout it out, but I don't know what's the name. Oh, she's gonna beat me up so bad. I'll send it to you, and then you can put it on the bottom.
Fantastic.
She just wrote a book. She's
for sure I will.
she's Claire Huxtable.
That's
You know.
It's
so
amazing.
how am I have a mom that wrote a book at 70 and date a
and
girl
you
that don't read books? You can't do it. And I know people I'm dating are gonna hear
conundrum.
this.
Who cares? They need to hear this.
That's why I'm gonna type it out. That way they won't read.
That's the loophole. You have found it.
We'll do this.
And they probably don't listen to podcasts either.
No.
This type of person who doesn't read probably also doesn't listen to podcasts.
They
I feel
ASAP
like.
Rocky all day long.
Yeah, no, they need videos.
Yeah.
They need
Yeah.
and they have very short attention spans.
So this is judgmental. I get it. I'm saying it in
I'm
advance.
all for judgment. I'm here for it.
I didn't realize because of my upbringing, blah, 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 I didn't realize that the majority of people didn't go to college. Majority of Americans didn't go to college.
That sounds about right.
Right.
The majority of Americans are poor.
Yeah.
So yes.
But I think on a conscious level I knew it, but think about it, if from the day you start going to kindergarten until you're 30,
Yeah.
you're around nothing but college people. And then all of a sudden I moved to California, and now I'm not meeting my friends, I'm just meeting new people.
Random people.
And the majority of people that I meet have not gone to college. And I'm not saying you have to go to college. I'm not
No, of
judging you,
course.
but it's a thing about learning and growing and social. It's something there.
And discipline.
And discipline.
Yeah.
And so that's tough.
You know, I just put on Instagram the other day, I just randomly had a thought, like, that discipline is sexy as fuck. There's something about, because for me, in the way that our culture is moving and evolving, is I see people just caring less and less about anything.
Yeah.
Caring and about people, about anything goes anymore. And it's just like, I don't have to put in work.
Yes.
And I just do this. I do whatever makes me feel good. And I'm like, that's not why we're here.
Yeah.
We're not here on this earth, and I've never believed this, even when I was a kid, which
Yeah.
is why I feel like, and I believe it's because of my parents also, but I think I was born this way. I feel like I'm an old soul.
Okay.
But my parents, both of them are very disciplined. My dad is very like, and very structured, and it's
Yes.
very everything is formal. And so that's what I grew up seeing, but I feel like even from down to the way that I eat, and it's gotten even more disciplined as I've gotten older, as I
Yeah.
really watch what I put in my mouth, because I feel like it affects our behaviors, it affects the way we think, it affects the way we feel about ourselves.
Yeah, I agree.
And the types of foods that I put in my body make me feel happier. And in turn, because of that, I feel like the energy that I'm putting out is attracting different things towards me. And I feel I'm the happiest I've ever been.
Yeah.
So like with working out and just treatment of people,
Yes.
that's a discipline.
I agree. I think I could not agree more. One of the main challenges, I'm sure she would say different. One of the main challenges with my ex and I, in my opinion, is comedy, if nothing else, teaches you discipline and patience. I really believe with all my heart.
If you haven't picked that up from comedy, then you're not doing it.
You're not doing it, right?
Yeah.
So I've been, like I said, 05, whatever, so 14. But I'm on this path. I've chosen this path, and I'm trudging along, kind of like Book of Eli. I'm on the path, right? Well, the Instagram, that's how you know I'm getting old. The gram and the Facebook.
I told you it's the gram.
The grams is, they have made people believe that everything is an instant success.
Yeah.
Right? And so I remember
Absolutely.
my ex said this, and I was like, this ain't gonna work. I remember we were somewhere, and she said, I could be famous here for doing nothing.
And it's true.
And maybe true, but
The fact
I
that
don't want that.
I don't want it.
Right? Imagine the psyche of somebody that says that.
You don't want
You don't want to work. I don't want to work for this. Why would I want to work for? Right?
No, but
Like-
and that's so many people out here. And why do you think this town? When I first moved out here, I went to some seminar because I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, I just want to learn about entertainment and I want to get into comedy. So I went to some comedy, I don't know what it was. It was maybe an acting thing because I didn't know I was even going to be doing stand up when I moved out here. I went to some seminar and I remember a statistic that was said at that seminar. Now I don't know what it is today, but back then, 7,000 people move to LA every month and 7,000 people leave every month. And I was like, holy shit. But it's those people that come out here thinking, oh, it's going to happen overnight. And then when it doesn't, they have to go.
But I'm saying not you and I'm saying we as a society have perpetuated that with America's Got Talent, with AGT.
The Kardashians.
That's the same thing. The Kardashians.
Every reality show
makes people think, oh, if I just stand in line for one night, I can make it. And and it's helped me so much as I've gotten older in comedy, I realized making it, it's never it. That's never there.
No, you always want more.
You always want more. So I've really grasped, really over the last 2 to 3 years, just enjoy exactly where you are.
Absolutely.
And that's why when I hear you say I'm the happiest I've ever been, that's exactly where I am right now.
That's fantastic.
But I couldn't have said that 3 years ago.
Me neither.
Yeah. So that's the thing. So anyway, I don't know.
But no, that's great. I'm glad you brought that up. It's this town, but yeah, no, and that is something I would have made a mental note if someone I was seeing had said that. Because I'd have been like, what are you do?
Or then look, if you're you're okay with doing nothing to make it, then understand how you're subconsciously resenting me for working this hard. And that it's still a thing to this day. Right? She used to want me, and still does, to quit comedy. But I don't think it was about quitting comedy.
Oh, God.
I think it was about she didn't want to look every day at somebody chasing their dream because all it does is
she wasn't.
Say it again.
Because she wasn't.
That's it.
Insecurities are, I think it's the biggest, the insecurities is what stops so many people from achieving their potential.
I agree.
Because insecurity and ego. Those are the two biggest things, I think. I'll tell you a conversation I had with a comedian via text the other day.
Okay.
So there's a friend of mine who, I love him to death. He's one of my good friends. I'm not going to say his name, and he was on stage, and he's a very funny comic. Okay. He's so talented. And I've seen him probably the last 3 times say this one joke that wasn't really a joke. It was just a premise. And the joke goes like this. White women will expand your mind, and this is a black person. White women will expand your mind, but black women will keep you real. I got to figure out which one is more important, which I think is a funny premise.
You don't like the premise, though.
It's not that I don't like the premise. I just need you to back it up with something funny to make it funny.
Okay, so he just says that and lets it go?
Yeah, and then we had this so we were texting with one another the other day, and I was like, and we got into that, and I was like, you got to stop saying that white women expand your mind on stage unless you have some, as a black man.
Yes. You
have to have some type of social. I said, imagine young black women in that room. And it's not that he didn't say, he did say black women keep you real, but like, that to me is not as big of a compliment.
As expand your mind. And listen, and the only reason, let's be honest, the only reason that a white woman would expand somebody's mind, it's not that she's white, it's that maybe she is allowing him to do things that he hadn't done.
Exactly. And that's what I said, and that is exactly. So I said, Jamar, oops.
Oh, we can scratch that out. Don't worry about it. We can scratch it out. I said, LaRon. This is live TV, people.
Are we still recording right now? Okay. Well, we're going to cut that out. Okay, perfect. And I was like, God damn.
It's okay.
You know you done fucked up right now. And honestly, it's not even that big a deal. I
Yeah.
could say his name and it's not that big of a deal. But I was like, yo, you need to understand that your words have power. Words, because he kept saying, what's the big deal? What's the big deal? And everyone knows this guy's style of comedy.
Yeah.
And it's like he does say the most ridiculous things.
How old is he? Do you know?
He's 33.
Okay.
You a man.
Yeah, but the reason I say that is it wasn't and this is not okay. I'm not okaying it.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until I had a daughter, a black daughter,
Yep.
whom now, like I used to say, I don't want to date black women. I used to say that.
I don't date black women?
Yeah, I was
we
like,
still
I'm
got,
not.
which we got, okay, so we'll talk about this
This is
after
like
we
7
finish.
years ago. Or
Yeah.
I said something. I remember saying, I can't even remember the joke now. I was like, what I said was, if I date a white, it doesn't matter. I'm not gonna do a joke on the thing, but it was not uplifting to black women.
Right.
The joke was not uplifting. Then I got to a point having my daughter that I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And now I've gone so far to flip and say, I don't want to date white women. And I'll say now, because I'm trying to manifest, I'm like, yeah, I want to date a black woman.
You want a black woman.
Yeah, so
you
she
have
got to be
a
able to play
beautiful black
spades.
daughter. First of all, shout out to that. Shout out to Black Love. I'm just here for it.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we had this conversation via text, and I was like, he kept saying, what's the big deal? It's just a joke, and I'm like,
it's bigger than that.
I was like, you gotta put more weight. Words carry weight,
Yes.
and we gotta stop acting as if they don't,
Yeah.
because they do, And so I was like, you have to have a social responsibility when you're talking about certain subjects specifically, especially when you're making it appear as if you're a black man saying white women. And then I had to ask him, I said, what are your examples? I said, who are you talking about?
Yeah.
I said, I need to hear these examples of what you're talking about. And then he goes, Candice, white women introduced me to dragon fruit. And I was like, that's hilarious. If you do not say that.
Right.
Because that's so silly that no one's going to actually think that that's
Yeah.
expanding your mind.
Yeah.
So, and obviously, he didn't actually think they were expanding his mind by introducing him to dragon fruit. But I was like, but that's what you got to follow it up with that, because that's so silly.
Yes. The other side is, though, because not that you are, but if we play coon police.
Yes, which I love doing in my downtime.
If we like this nigga coon and this nigga coon and this nigga cooning, then and one of my friends that's not a comic said this to me, because I was playing. I would get mad at it.
Yeah.
I know I'm not gonna say his name, but he was coon. I hated
Central?
watching. Yes, I didn't like it.
I would like to hear after we
After
stop
this-
recording.
yes.
Because there's so many in
It's
my
a lot.
head.
It's a lot. And but my boy said, Trenton, you have to stop wanting them to be you, because if they were all like you wouldn't be different.
It's true. And it's in a way helping that you're different, because you're going to stand out. You're going to say, why is this guy better? Is comedy more profound and meaningful? And it's going to be like, because you're not doing it for white people.
I agree. It's sometimes in Hollywood, it's hard to see that.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
Because
'Cause
these
I would've-
coons keep getting rewarded.
These coons I got a
These
coon in my
coons stay winning.
head. These coons is winning.
They stay winning. They've been winning, though.
These coons is winning.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna talk about this because if we ever went out just for coffee, regular,
We will.
I would tell you that. And this shit
Yeah.
is that it burns in my heart.
No, I know.
But it's not.
Because we're in an industry where it's like having pride in being black
Yes.
is seen as a threat
Yes.
and as something that's difficult.
I agree. Never mind. Just move on, because
Yeah,
I'm
no.
gonna say something and then I'm
And
gonna
we'll
get in trouble.
we'll talk. So we have been talking about. We didn't really, I guess, technically introduce your struggle, but we have been talking about, I guess, the struggle that both of us shared today was having great parents that
Yeah.
respected and loved one another, and
Yeah.
then being single and trying to date and find someone that lives in the shadow of our fantastic parents.
Yes.
So that's been our overall struggle. But what I want to talk about right now is why you came on here in the first place, because we had a conversation at the Improv.
Yes.
Was that 2 years ago or a year
No,
ago?
it was Christmas. It wasn't that long ago.
It was just Christmas?
It was last Christmas. Remember, we were there for the NBC Center for Diversity.
Just this
what's
past
that?
December?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. It was not that long ago, Candice.
Time is flying, guys. What can I say?
She was like, I think it was 17 years ago. No. It was just this. I mean, so was that 7 months ago? It was.
No, it's about August
8.
right now.
It's 8
So
months
like,
ago
yeah,
now.
8 and a half.
Yeah.
So we were having a conversation about the relationship between black men and black women.
Yes.
Which I have said now before we started recording that my perspective on it has changed
Okay.
because I have been now I've read statistics about how black men are dating black women.
Just not in California.
Just not here.
Yeah, yeah.
That is it. It is
Yeah.
here specifically. And
Yeah.
also, I think maybe the bigger cities like New York probably and LA.
Okay.
And I feel like anywhere there's like it's like entertainment happening.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a problem. And I talked with Daphne was on last week and we talked about it and I said the same. I was like, yeah, no, we just buy into the stereotypes of black men dating others
Yes.
and we see it in LA, so we
Yeah.
just think it's happening all across the country
Yeah.
and all across the world, but that is not the case. So that notion has been dispelled. But I will like to say that it is the images that we see in entertainment also
Yes.
that leads us to believe the
Yeah.
breakdown of the relationship between black men and black women.
I agree. So I spent the first 7 years doing comedy, or first 5.5, 6 years doing comedy in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
So Chicago was a very prominent black love city. It's so I love Chicago. Now I'm not
I
gonna
do
move back
too.
because it's cold as hell.
Yeah.
But I
The only reason.
love
No,
Chicago.
Chicago's great.
And so it was the only place I ever had a really good, tight group of black people that were doing it. And all of them different. Nobody was in the industry but me. But I'm talking about vice president, dude was the
Killing it,
principal,
yeah.
killing it. And it was all black love.
That's so great.
All of that
Yeah.
group that is married other black people.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was dope. And I think that also, because they're close to me, and if I got married, they would come to my wedding. And this is bad. Like, if all of them came to my wedding, they would clap. They were like, nigga, you couldn't get a black woman. They would.
You would have got roasted at your own wedding.
At my own wedding,
Yeah.
you know. So, you know.
So wait, was there a time in your life where you were dating just others?
Yeah, so when I broke up, you know, young and stupid, I felt like the reason we broke up was because she's a black woman. She didn't take the. Turns out, no woman likes getting cheated on. It's not just black women. I lost Candice at this point.
First of all, that's hilarious. You need to say that on stage. That's fucking hilarious.
But I think as you get older, you stop pointing the finger at your ex and you look internally.
Yes.
If you read,
Yes.
you realize it's more you than them.
Yes.
So that happened.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then again, having my daughter and just seeing black excellence every day.
Yeah.
And listen, one of the reasons, you and I talking about, one of the reasons I want a black woman is because subconsciously I don't want her to think that daddy doesn't believe she's beautiful.
Yep. And
Right?
that is so huge.
It's a
And
big
some
deal.
people think that's ridiculous. Why would she think? And it's like,
You know who thinks
because your
that?
daddy didn't choose.
Right.
And he could have.
But you know
he
who
could have
else-
chose a girl that looked like you and he didn't.
And you know who the people, and I've talked to women that say, that's stupid. That's, of course, they want me to date them. And I'm like, yeah, but that's because you don't read. No, I'm serious. If you
It's
read,
true.
you understand the importance of subconscious thoughts, and you
We're
understand.
literally this whole entire time been talking about how our parents left a huge impression on us and how we value ourselves
Yes.
and how the respect that we saw between the two of them and how the treatment of one another that trickles down into our DNA. It is
Yes,
our DNA.
It is. Understand, every single family reunion was nothing but African Americans and black
Yes.
excellence and dominoes and spades and music.
Yes.
And so it's hard for me to just turn that off and say I'm not going to do that.
And for me, and I will stand by this, it's unnatural.
Yeah.
I'm dead serious. I'm serious. When I
Okay.
say that's how you grew up with and then you turn on it,
Yeah.
there's something there that made you turn on it. That was
Okay.
not an organic thing. For example, there is something that may have happened to you that was a trauma that made you think this is not. If that's how you grew up,
Yes.
that's just what we are.
That's just what we are.
So for you to turn against that, that's why I'm saying it's unnatural. There's
Yes.
something that had to have triggered that you turning your back on that.
I thought you meant interracial dating was unnatural. I
That
was like,
also.
you can't say that.
No. Look how light skinned I am. Of course, I'm a product of
yeah.
that throughout my
Somewhere.
ancestry.
It may
Of
not
course.
Have, it may not have been.
It wasn't direct. Both my
yeah.
parents are mixes of the same thing. But yeah, no, I wasn't. Neither one of my parents is this or this. They're both
Right.
mixed. And so, but no, not that is unnatural. But I'm saying, like, for example, when I see a black man who was raised by black people, and then and they have a black family, and then they don't date anything but white women.
Yeah, yeah.
That to me is unnatural
Something
and
happened,
there's
yeah.
a self-hatred there.
But yes, you're absolutely right. Not saying you're wrong at all. You're absolutely right. Again, if you don't read, you'll never really understand that there's self-hatred.
Oh, for sure.
You'll never, like, these topics that we're talking about are 2 and 3 layers
I hope you
down.
guys are taking notes,
I'm you know.
especially for y'all that don't read.
Niggas ain't taking notes. They can't write in cursive. What are you talking about? Niggas don't
All right,
write.
type it in your phone.
Right? But think about it. If saying self-hate. That is so deep of a conversation.
Oh,
we could do a podcast on that
well,
by itself.
I will have you back. Yeah.
You know, and so I'm not.
You mean we can't sum it up in these last 3 minutes that we have?
I'm not saying that black men don't have to be culpable, but I think most of them don't even know it.
They don't.
Most of them don't even know it.
Yo, I was talking to a friend last night. We have this, I don't want to say mutual friend. She's just this person who exists, who is white,
Okay.
who appropriates black culture,
Oh.
AKA a wigger.
Oh.
Or African American. You
Yeah.
know, that's the term I prefer to use.
I like that one.
Yes, African American.
I like that one, yeah.
And so she is like ridiculous with it, like out in the streets and on her Instagram stories, like, yo, yo, yo.
Oh.
Like, I'm talking like, that's what's up, my homegirl, blah, 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 blah.
Oh.
And I'm looking at this and I'm like, and this girl was not raised, she's not like Eminem where, you know, you grew up in Detroit around a bunch. She grew up in like
Iowa.
all, right.
Mm-hmm.
And she dates black men, and the guy she's with right now, black dude, and I'm like, you don't see how you as a black man dating this white woman pretending to be a caricature, not even a good one.
Right.
Like, be one of the good ones.
Yeah.
Why don't you walk around like Alfred Woodard or some shit? Pretend to be Michelle Obama if you're going to be any black woman, but you're walking around being just ratchet and what you think is all these stereotypes of black women. And I was like, and you don't see how that's I can't fuck with this dude because of that. Because of his relationship with this girl. Like, you could have just dated a black woman.
Or Rachel Dolezal. At least she'd have been because at least she was the NAACP chapter president.
I told you, I said before that I have a respect for her because she's done more for black people than I ever have.
That's phenomenal. You need to put that on stage. You talking about me? That needs to go.
So I can't hate on her too much because of that. I mean,
don't.
she's batshit crazy, of course, because she still has not admitted that she's white.
Yeah.
So there's something wrong. But again, she's being productive in the black community. She's helping.
She's helping a
yeah,
lot.
she's appropriating, but she's also giving back.
Like Dave Chappelle said, he saves
a lot,
but he rapes.
But he rapes. but he saves way more than he rapes. We have to end this. I'm so upset.
I know.
Yeah, we have to end.
Okay.
But I'm sorry. I wanted to finish the comic that I was telling about with the who said that stuff on stage. The reason why I brought that up, so I remember that I didn't even finish it, is that he texted me. He got so not belligerent, but like was just like, you want me to tell jokes like you and not like me. And I'm like, no, this is basic like setup premise. I'm sorry, setup punch. You have a premise that's not fully fleshed out.
Yeah.
And you need to make people laugh about it. Otherwise, you're just making a statement about white women being superior to black women.
Oh.
And so he was like, no, that's not true. You know my style of comedy. And I was like, I do know your style of comedy, but I'm telling you what you're saying is not funny.
Right.
That is a statement and you need to fix it. And he was like, he was so stubborn that I was like, bye. I can't have this conversation where you're not even listening.
Yeah.
The next day he texted me and was like, thank you. He said, I tried what you said on stage and it worked.
Oh.
And I had to put my ego aside to accept what you were saying.
That's a happy ending.
So when I was saying the thing about ego and insecurities getting in the way of people and why it stops so many people from achieving what they want, if he didn't take in what I said, because his ego kept saying whatever it was, whether it's I'm not going to let this woman tell me how to tell jokes or I'm not going to let just a random person tell, it's whatever, he set that aside. And the fact that he was able to admit that and then not only admit it to himself, but tell me, I was like, this person can grow.
That's a big deal. Intelligence 1, Coonan 0.
And I think that's how we should end because that was perfect.
Thank you for having me.
No, this was amazing. So Trenton,
fun.
Thank you so much. You guys, thank you for listening one more time. If you haven't subscribed, we're on all podcast platforms, also on YouTube. Subscribe there. Rate and review us on iTunes. And if you haven't told somebody about the struggle, you need to tell them because I'm sure they're struggling with something and we want to make them laugh about it. My website, my website, CandiceThompsonComedy.com. Watch Lights Out with David Spade on Comedy Central. And also, check out my Late Show with Stephen Colbert. I just did that. So if you haven't seen that, thanks.
Good, congratulations.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Let me finish making noises. And Trenton, one more. Thank you for being here. This was an amazing podcast. I'm definitely going to have you back because we have so much more to cover.
Yes.
But tell people one more time where they can find you.
I'm at Trenton Comedy. This will show 2 weeks from now. So August 16th, 17th, I'm at Labs in Tucson, Arizona. And just thank you for having me. I love good conversation with people who read.
Fantastic. And I want to say thank you because you are a wonderful example of a black man who was raising an amazing little black girl, and
Thank you.
that brings so much joy to my heart
Thank
because
you
you
so
guys
much.
catch such a bad rap for so many things, and I'm here to say that there are good ones.
Thank you
There
so
are good
much.
ones, and you are that. So, and you're funny and talented on top of it. So, ladies, they're out there. There's like 4, so you gotta
Grab
get
us
them,
while we
get them
hot.
early. Till next time, guys. Bye.